Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today I wanted to talk about Call of Duty because I don't know if you guys keep up to date with Battlefield 6 or not, but the latest season dropped very recently, and it just kind of felt like a wet fart. It was very underwhelming with only a few really minor changes and like only one map. It feels like the fan base is tired. They want more. They want more consistency, bigger maps, all that type of stuff. I just want to play on things where it doesn't feel repetitive. And like I said, it was pretty underwhelming, but it got me thinking, what would it be like to go back and visit the glory days of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019? Because that's when I got into Call of Duty. And I guess it was the only really good year in recent years to be in Call of Duty. So yeah, I was just gonna pull it up. I was gonna see if there's even active servers and see what was going on. See why it was such a good game. And hopefully maybe we can learn some stuff about it that would be good for Battlefield developers in making the next season or just update this current season. Alright guys, let's go! Nice. I'm gonna pull back here. I haven't heard that sound in a while, but dang, does that not sound good. Sorry, I already messed up this video. I totally forgot to record my actual face during the gameplay, so I'm gonna give you some live updates and kind of explain to you why this game has been so good. So coming back into Hardpoint for the first time and just seeing a map that I haven't seen for several years, I'm just giddy as a schoolboy. Watch this. First Blood. Yeah, I'm kind of goated with it. But one thing I was so surprised by the gunplay and the sound. Listen to this. You hear how punchy that is? That just was getting me all hot and bothered, man. It was making me feel a certain way. There's something just coming back to this and then feeling the gameplay. I know at launch people were saying this was a lot slower in terms of movement, but as my first game and just getting the responsiveness of the shooting, the movement, I don't know, I thought it felt great. Right now I am just so stoked that I'm doing this well in the gameplay right now. I gotta show it off. Another thing that I guess I really enjoyed, I guess it's the identity of Call of Duty and not necessarily Battlefield, but kill streaks. Man, I like being rewarded for being good, If Battlefield brought kill streaks to the Battlefield, that would be lovely. Maybe it's not necessarily the identity and they don't want to do that, but when I get an airstrike or a cluster strike or something, that is just something else completely. I think I figured out my camera situation, so I'll turn it over to other Zach now. It's funny to see how like muscle memory just kicks back in after doing this for a couple minutes. Is there someone on here? Let's get some crazy stuff going. Oh, there we go. Wow, it is loud as freaking. Oh. Got him. What is this guy doing? Oh. Tough. My bad. Ooh, watch out for that. Heck yeah. That was fun. That was so good. That was so nice. It just made me realize how much I love that. Clearly I wasn't recording some of that. So there's not the oh shit. It was so fun to play with each weapon, you know. Everything had their own use case, which also just look at this selection. Look at this selection. My goodness. We were blessed and we didn't know it. Actually, I think we all knew we were blessed. Yeah, see, like, I think this is the only one that's, like, not super leveled, but everything else, top tier. I played with everything, except for the shield. Frick the shield, people. I would never do that. Level 3? Yeah, that's all I needed. One thing that I really liked about Call of Duty 2019 is that when you had weapons, you could get skins, like, so easily. Like here, if I go over here, let's go customize, camouflage. Like you get all these you could get all of these skins, and it's just like, oh, do these 5 things, do these 5 things, do these 75 things, you know? Hackney Yards. This one I remember distinctly from the beta, and I was like, damn, this is awesome. I swear Call of Duty, or especially this one for me, was brain rot before brain rot became brain rot, you know? Like, I know people are like, it's the 3-lane structure, it's so overused. But for me, where this was my first ever game, you know, into it, I was like, this is addicting. The grind is crazy, you know? Oh. One thing that I love about this game, like, if you look at my wrist, you can see this little mini map. Like, that's such a little detail that, again, I can't say if that's been a thing in Call of Duty for forever, but it was cool that you could unlock these watches. Like this is a cool one. You could unlock charms. Everything made sense, whereas in Battlefield 6, it's just so tedious to figure out what you're supposed to do to get something done. You know, like, if I want to play with this gun, then I get unlocks for this gun. And that seems to make sense to me, you know? You don't have to overcomplicate it. I remember it was such a huge deal that there was doors in this Call of Duty. I don't understand what the issue was there, but I just remember that being like everybody was super concerned about it. I'm like, yeah, we're opening doors and here we go. Now, one of the better, fair criticisms of this game was at launch they didn't have a store, and everybody was like super hyped that they didn't have a store. And then I think it was like 3 weeks after launch, 2 or 3 weeks after launch, they're like, now we're adding a store, and now we're adding all this kind of stuff. And it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse. Like, I know everybody really wanted like a grounded military shooter type game, and now you get stuff like this. So as I got quick play set up, as you can see, the ping starts at like 40. Now it's going to 70. That weight is a little bit more prevalent now after 6 years or so. 87. I was looking at the Steam numbers, and it looks like there's 500 to 1,000 concurrent players as of right now, and that's on Steam. So I don't know what it is, if that is the same thing with Battle.net, which is where most of Call of Duty lives now. It seems like there's still an active community. It doesn't feel like a ghost town yet, And I hope there's a huge resurgence into this, because it'd be really cool just to get some buddies and grind this out again. Okay, alright. Now, while there's a lot to love about Battlefield and having like the revive system, I kind of honestly just like dying and instantly respawning. It just really adds to that addictive nature. Alright, I'm ass with this gun, I guess. They want to play like that? Ooh. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? That's enough out of that guy. Alright, so I just want to look at some of my stats here real quick. Continue. Let's see. I think there used to be a spot where you could see like time. Oh yeah, here. Look at that. Total time spent 16 days, 23 hours, and 12 minutes. What? Okay, let me check up calculator. 16 times 24, 384 hours. I understand that might not be a huge thing for some committed gamers, but like for me, I would just grind this after school. So another thing that's so cool is just like at time of launch and as the game progressed, there was just so many freaking maps. So like here, I think this is, yeah, these 10 were at launch, and then these ones are season 1. Here's season 2, season 3, and I forget how long these seasons were, but it felt like there was a good consistent amount of maps just coming out where you wouldn't get too tired. And again, the maps here also were just, for me at least, personally, very enjoyable, very addictive. The only ones I didn't really like were Piccadilly, yeah, all these are all these I actually really liked. Sadala Harbor, I didn't, maybe that wasn't the best. Broadcast wasn't the best. Also, I don't know what the general consensus was on this, but I really did like the night maps. I thought that was super sick. Oh yeah, shoot, here's all these other maps too. I didn't really play Gunfight as much. But there was just so many maps. There were so many maps. I know some of them are reused from previous games, but there was just so many coming out where one of the issues with Battlefield right now is like, yeah, it had some maps, but after such a long period, you just want more maps. you want a fresh map, or 2, preferably 2 or 3 or 4, just to change the look of it. So after playing the game again for the first time in probably 4-ish years, I can see why it was such a great game. Outside of the campaign, which was super awesome in its own right, it was a return to form for many. For me, it was just a kick-ass single-player experience. Outside of that, you have multiplayer that was just so freaking enjoyable. Here, like, you have the gunplay and the sound is just insane. The feel of the guns, it feels really weighty. The sounds are punchy. It's so satisfying. You got that adrenaline kicking. It's like I'm one of the what is it? I'm like one of Pavlov's dogs, you know? The conditioning of like, I'm salivating for the next the next kill. Sounds terrible when I say it like that, but you know, it gets you on that grind because of just the sound alone. Another thing was just the type of maps and the amount of maps For me, it was the first time ever doing the 3-lane structure because, again, it was the first time ever playing Call of Duty. And I know 3-lane structures have been kind of hated on for a while, but for me, it just leads to an addictive loop. I know this is a super hot take. At least in this game, I think they were done well. Because it's like I knew where to go, I knew all the different ins and outs, but if you play just a new group every single time, it just feels so fresh. But there was just so many maps at launch. I think there was 10 at launch, and then every season they would drop 3 or 4. It made it just so enjoyable to stick with it and keep playing. Another thing was just the grind and its simplistic nature. Like when you want to get a camo, and you want to use a certain gun, all the camos are linked to that gun. So the more you play with a certain weapon, the more you're going to unlock camos for that. And I feel like a lot of modern games that I've seen, now they're completely linked to other things. Like in Battlefield 6, if you want to unlock a camo for one gun, you have to level up a completely different gun to unlock it. It's like, to me, that makes zero sense. The little bits that makes this game so awesome is like the customizations of the watches or the guns with the charms, all those things that you can grind, and it's so easy to grind. It just makes the journey where you just want to keep playing to get that stuff. Even though it doesn't really do anything, it's just a cosmetic thing. It just shows that you've accomplished something. With those 3 things, I think this is a stellar game. I wish we could all just say, let's go back and play this game, so then there'd be more hype to it. I don't want it to die off. I know it's an older game, but it's such a good one. It is such a good one. Hopefully Battlefield or just future Call of Duties can learn a lesson from this one and take it into the near future, because I want to play games. Maybe I don't want to be addicted to them, but I would love to have that nice grind again at some point. Well, that's about it. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next week for the next one. See ya.